It is Thursday, the 23rd day of May 2019. Hello there and welcome to News Tonight here on UBC TV. First though, let's have a look at our top stories. In our news tonight, President Yoweri Museveni advises Mahdi leaders to stop stoking tribal tensions. Office of the Prime Minister scores 73% in manifesto commitments. Elsewhere in the world, US says Iranian threats put on hold. And in sports, FIFA terminates Ghanaian coach's contract. Hello there and welcome once again. On same language, it is Mugalu Mohammed and I am Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has advised the people of Moyo district in the West Nile region to carry out their part of creating wealth for themselves, while government also plays its own role of developing the country's infrastructure. The president was addressing a rally in Moyo district at Moyo Boys Primary School grounds in Moyo town. He said that government development projects alone would not help them get out of poverty, rather that it was their part to create household. President Museveni emphasized the need for people to shift from subsistence agriculture to cultivate commercial production. He stressed that one of the reasons why there were fewer jobs was due to the country's error in donating jobs by buying from other countries. He re-echoed the need for entrepreneurs to start building factories that can manufacture products that Ugandans were buying from outside. On health, the president informed the people of Moyo that they could avoid 80% of the diseases afflicting them if they carried out good health practices like good nutrition, taking clean water, avoiding alcohol and refraining from promiscuity. At the end of the rally, the president, in a live press briefing, stressed that wealth creation would not only help improve their lives, but also indirectly solve national challenges. On the issue of Wango land dispute between the people of Mahdi and those across the border of South Sudan, President Museveni advised the people to refer to the Constitution of Uganda that has a clear map of the colonial borders. And on corruption, late arrival and poor quality materials from Operation Wealth Creation, the president said that government is in the process of causing restructuring of the project. Meanwhile, President Yoweri Museveni has told the youth from Arua district that it is through hard work and embracing of modern agricultural practices that wealth creation can be created, as well as jobs for others. The president informed them that there is no miracle associated with becoming rich other than embracing modern agriculture and hard work. He told them that he had finished his work of mobilizing the people about poverty eradication and written lectures that are on record. The president was holding an interactive meeting with leaders of over 50 youths and people with disability from 29 sub-counties and Arua Municipal Council, who called on him this morning at Arua State Lodge. Arua Municipality Member of Parliament Osoro Maureen led the delegation. The president challenged traditional, religious and political leaders that part of their obligations for social responsibility is to provide guidance to the masses. Mr. Museveni told the meeting that the youth must be active and embrace wholesale gospel of being development-oriented. He said that sometimes he feels so bad when the elite group that are well-placed to appreciate the right things to do but fail to impart the knowledge they have to the masses in order cause societal development. Arua district youth, in their memorandum, pledged support to government development programs and assured the president that they have a well-organized strong force that is the Youth Encounter Group for NRM mobilization and fighting against hooliganism. Meanwhile, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has told leaders in Acholi and Mahdi sub-regions in northern Uganda to desist from preaching sectarianism and dividing their people.
So otherwise, there's Ebwe. Ebwe in the whole of Uganda is there, and it will be maintained. Nobody will disturb our peace. Because they always support Ebwe. There was the Konyi terrorism here, but the people of West Nile never joined. They stayed out and they helped us a lot.
Speaking to leaders of the Madi sub-region in Adjumani district, President Museveni said the NRM is a party of peace and its leaders should focus on solving people's problems rather than stoking sectarian tendencies. Madi sub-region comprises Adjumani and Moyo districts. The president was in Adjumani as part of his wealth creation sensitization campaign that has so far seen him speak to leaders in Toro, Bunyoro, Lango, and West Nile sub-regions. The president's remarks followed a call by the Adjumani LC5 chairman, James Leku, and the first deputy prime minister, General Moses Ali, that the cabinet report on the Upper land conflict should not be reviewed.
Assistant District Commissioner, Mr. Rubanga, as the Assistant District Commissioner of Madi sub-region.
The president said the issues will be resolved peacefully and warned those who were fanning animosity, including on radios, to stop it forthwith. On the subject of wealth creation, which he clarified was the primary purpose of his visit, President Museveni challenged the leaders to become preachers of the gospel to get their followers out of poverty. The president said leaders must encourage people to form circles based on similar skills such that he can support them like he did with the CASA and the youth groups. On the developments in Adjumani, President Museveni was happy to note that electricity had been brought into the area. He said although the current was still weak, it would get stronger with the help of Karuma Power Dam. On the issue of roads, he assured the people that the construction of the Atiak Adjumani Moyo road that goes up to Yumbe and Koboko would soon commence as he had earlier promised. President Museveni was also endorsed as the sole candidate for elections as NRM national chairperson and NRM presidential candidate in 2021 by the leaders. Earlier, the president commissioned the new resident district commissioner's office in Adjumani town. UBC TV, Harriet Nambi.
Government, through the Office of the Prime Minister, has paid over 66,000 veterans one-off gratuity out of a target 80,000. While presenting the NRM manifesto commitments for the last 3 years, the Assistant Commissioner Monitoring and Evaluation, Timothy Lubanga, said they plan to pay 13,550 veterans in the next 2 years, as we hear in this report.
The Office of the Prime Minister, with a mandate to monitor and evaluate government programs, has accounted for their manifesto commitment of affirmative action in rehabilitating war-ravaged areas and combating corruption. The minister in charge of general duties in the Office of the Prime Minister, Mary Karoro-Krot, says continuous restocking in these areas involves compensation of those who lost cattle during the war and recovery of Teso sub-region, which suffered insurgency. She emphasized that conflict-ravaged areas like Karamoja still needs help. Kararo, however, urged people to appreciate that Baraza forums are established for accountability purposes. Barazas are public forums where leaders give accountability of government programs to the people.
Barazas, the citizens acknowledge whether these projects are actually there, and they put to task the leaders. In case a leader says, well, this has been done and it hasn't been done, the citizens get up in an open forum and say, no, you are saying that you have constructed so many pit latrines or whatever, but we don't see them. So the leaders are made to account. And we always tell the citizens at these barazas that these barazas are not a witch hunt. They are not there to witch hunt anybody. They are there to find out whether the funds which are sent down there are being utilized the way they are supposed to.
Under the Northern Uganda Social Action Fund 3, 354,725 people benefited from 70,945 households. Enterprises funded in the 62 district local governments include fish cage farming, cassava production and dairy cows for milk production. However, delays in reporting and disbursement of NUSAF funds from districts to communities have affected implementation of NUSAF 3 sub-projects.
We are able to avoid a situation where contractors overprice. Okay? So when we are procuring, for example, livestock, we have our threshold costs. So if a call is made for contractors to supply livestock under the restocking project, we have standard costs, and anybody quoting above that threshold will definitely drop out of the procurement. The advantage with that is that you get away from the problem of buying, for example, heifers at twice the price that you would get in the open market.
The local government assessment for financial year 2016-17 and 2017-18 indicated improved accountability for funds, while monitoring the implementation of externally funded projects revealed improvement in average disbursement.
We have also realized problems with poor project management, including weaknesses in project preparation and planning, project execution, and sustainability. And these are constraints that have been persisting over time, but OPM is working with the sectors to address each of these complaints on a case-by-case basis.
Meanwhile, operationalizing the Prime Minister's delivery unit through biometric registration system in 8 district hospitals and health centers resulted in increased health workers' attendance from 51% in 2016 to 93% in 2018. The overall performance of the Office of the Prime Minister has been rated at 73%. I'm Nafka Farida and Sana Anet in Kampala.
The Ministry of Information, Communications, Technology and National Guidance has registered great achievements in the NRM Manifesto targets. The Permanent Secretary, Minister of ICT, Vincent Bagire, says the number of mobile phone subscribers has increased to 24 million. Internet costs have dropped and sector contributions to the national economy have increased by 9.8%.
Officials from the Ministry of ICT and agencies including UBC, Post Limited, NITA, UCC, Media Center and Media Council have presented the achievements in the last 3 years to the public during the Manifesto Week. Key achievements are in the mobile phone subscribers, cost of internet, increased connectivity and revamping UBC, the national broadcaster.
The National IT Authority has extended connectivity to our borders, that is the border in Katuna and Mutukula, with the sole aim of connecting ministries, departments and agencies as well as local governments in those areas. Our National Data Center has been upgraded, as well as the disaster recovery sites have been upgraded. There has been a reduction in the cost of bandwidth to government from $300 per megabyte per second to $70 per megabyte per second.
Others include increased sector contributions to the national economy, increased the number of schools connected with computer labs, and upgrade of Internet Generation 2 to Generation 3.
And through the Uganda Communications Commission, have established or set up 1,047 computer labs in our government-owned secondary schools. There is a process in converting post offices, the post office infrastructure and public libraries into service delivery centers. and that is something that we are working on with the Ministry of Public Service. The Uganda Institute of ICT is being transformed. We have a master plan where we want to promote UICT as a center of excellence in specifically emerging technologies. In terms of contribution to the economy, the sector activities or contribution to real GDP accounted for 9.8% in financial year 2017-18 compared to 9.6% in financial year 2016-17. And the implication there is growth in the sector.
The ministry has also made laws to curb cybercrime and harassment.
As you may be aware, the Data Protection and Privacy Act was signed by the President in February, and the purpose of this act is to protect against the misuse of personal information that is in the hands of any data holder. We have developed what we call the Digital Uganda Vision, basically a blueprint that defines our intentions as government on how we intend to digitize government. We are supporting innovation through what we call the National ICT Initiative Support Program, where we are...
The public, however, faulted the ministry for slow e-government process, ineffective government communication and cyber crimes. Philip Aguta reporting.
To matters now pertaining to the Martyrs' Day, where preparations for the forthcoming Martyrs' Day celebrations have hit a snag with only 40% of the budget collected so far. Addressing the media at Nsambia Catholic Secretariat, the Bishop Gulu Archdiocese John Baptist Odama said out of the planned 900 million shillings, only 486 has been collected so far.
With less than 10 days to June 3rd Martyrs' Day celebrations, Gulu Archdiocese Bishop Most Reverend John Baptist Ondama says out of the 900 million budget, only 40% has been covered, thus calling for honoring of pledges.
There are so many pledges that have been made, but not fully honored. We need the money to realize the essential items budgeted for the success of this important national event.
However, considering that religion ranks among the biggest tourism attractions in the country, the Uganda Tourism Board has made a timely gesture by handing over a cheque worth 96 million shillings to the organizers.
As UTB, again, as we said, we associate ourselves with the church and this event, and we shall continue to give support, be it financial, whatever support that we are able to really give. We need to work with the church closely to ensure that this day, throughout the year, and specifically in June, 3rd of June, is a day that is really well remembered.
Meanwhile, Bishop Odama has earmarked upcoming events starting this Saturday up to the eve of the D-Day, which include Uganda Martyrs Novena prayers to be hosted at Namugongo Martyrs Shrine, Munyonyo Martyrs Shrine, and different parishes across the country, a walk of faith, and several vigil masses on the second day of June, among others.
On the 25th, just 2 days from now, the Uganda Martyrs Novena prayers will start, and also they will end on the 2nd of June. On the 3rd itself, the Mass for the Uganda Martyrs celebration starts at 9:30 a.m. prompt. I would wish that we do it prompt.
Bishop Ondama, however, calls upon pilgrims to pray for the people of Apa to end conflict on land wrangles.
One of the areas in the Archdiocese of Gulu, right now, many of the people living there, they are unsettled. They started living together from 1926 to date. And they would wish that whoever is addressing their issue should leave them to live together, united, peaceful in that area where they are now.
This year's Mother's Day celebrations are running on the theme, Obey God, always and everywhere. Quoting His Holiness Pope Francis, Bishop Ondama also emphasized the need for Ugandans to engage in environmental conservation activities more than ever.
Humanity, if you go against the environment will revenge on you. This is a campaign which now we call all of us to exercise the responsibility to protect our environment and indeed Mother Nature.
This year, about 4 million pilgrims are expected for the celebrations. Dokas Kimon and Deborah Namamonde, UBC TV News.
And into the courtroom now, where High Court in Kampala has issued an interim injunction blocking Uganda Communications Commission from implementing its directive against 13 media houses ordered to suspend journalists for breach of minimum broadcasting standards. In her ruling, Justice Lydia Mugambe argued that after UCC issuing its directive on April 30th, 2019, it failed to follow the laws, whereby UCC held a meeting with the National Association of Broadcasters to block the system of justice, well knowing that their controversial directive had been challenged in court. The media houses affected include Kabozi FM, BBS TV, Beat FM, Kingdom TV, NBS TV, NTV, Pearl FM, Salt TV, Sapientia FM, and Simba FM.
It has disagreed with UCC's reasons and reasoning of confusing setting aside and suspension. It has also clarified the law on injunctions in the context of public law. So I think this was a very happy day for human rights in Uganda, for media freedom, and at a more practical level, the injunction was very necessary to ensure that the lines of journalists and editors which have been online are saved, at least for the time being.
First of all, we are happy that court has granted us an injunction. At least our members can breathe, can drink, can work until the main application is disposed of. So, please, our members, go back to your work. Nobody's going to intimidate you. You're no longer under threat, under fear. You work until the main application is heard.
So we are happy with today's ruling, and we pray that UCC abides by it, not to violate it, because we shall bring it back to court for contempt.
They are winning the first part of that case there. Now to matters pertaining to the health sector, where the Minister of State for Health in charge of general duties, Sarah Opendi, has asked Rukunjiri District Administration to come up with a bylaw against child and forced marriage. Opendi was officiating at the National Day to End Obstetric Fistula in the district. Banadiga reports from Rukunjiri District.
Uganda has today joined the rest of the world to commemorate the International Day to End Obstetric Fistula. At the function held at Nyarushanje Model Primary School in Rukunjiri District, the resident District Commissioner Dan Kaguta decried the rampant child marriages leading to fistula in the district.
Somewhere here it is normal. Honorable Minister, getting married when you are 14 here it is normal. Some parents even force away those young teenagers. You go and get married.
The State Minister for Health, Sarah Opendi, said the Constitution of Uganda is very clear on child marriage, urging leaders to take action.
That any person below 18 years is a child. However, when this girl is defiled or married off, it is the man who is blamed. But what about the parents who have given out this girl? What about the LOC who could have even attended this marriage ceremony? I come from a district where we had to put a bylaw regarding child marriages. It is now an offense for any child to get married in any village, the LC1, you will be taken to prison. The parents, you will be taken to prison.
Opend said fistulas persisted, partly because men have failed on their responsibilities. The UN population body UNFPA reports that Uganda has a backlog of 75,000 fistula cases, an abnormal hole between a woman's birth canal and bladder that causes her to leak urine and feces.
There are new cases which are happening, and therefore we need to do quite a lot to make sure that we prevent new cases from happening. The good news is that we know what we need to do, and the play has highlighted what we need to do. Let our women go and attend antenatal care. Let them deliver with skilled birth attendants. But, Honorable Minister, we also need to tackle the other social determinants. Poverty.
A team of gynecologists and obstetricians who camped at Kisi's hospital have successfully operated 17 fistula patients out of the 30 so far screened. This year's theme, Fistula is a human rights violation, End It Now, is a call to realize the fundamental human rights of all women and girls everywhere, with a special focus on those most left behind, excluded and shunned by society. Bernard Iga, UBC TV, Tukunjiri District.
Now, government has developed a national bamboo strategy and action plan to promote the growing of bamboo in the country. 285 billion shillings will be injected in the bamboo sector for a period of 10 years, starting from 2019 to 2029.
Bamboo sector in Uganda is not well developed, yet the crop can be used for different purposes. Although bamboo can grow widely in Uganda, it naturally grows in the mountainous areas of Rwenzori and Elgon. Bamboo is used in the construction industry, carpentry, beauty industry, and food. The bamboo sector can substitute the use of other tree species in making timber products, thus saving forestry cover. Ministry of Water and Environment, National Forestry Authority, and Uganda Industrial Research Institute are spearheading the promotion of bamboo growing. A national bamboo strategy and action plan has also been developed. The bamboo sector is also being looked at as a potential for job creation and environmental protection.
First of all, people will be employed in the production, at the farm level, and then at that harvest, transportation, and the production line. So we think bamboo can contribute to the employment, and you may have been told that globally, bamboo trade is totaling to almost 60 billion United States dollars, with China alone having half of that trade, sharing half of that trade. So really, when we developed it in Uganda, possibly we can also reap some of the foreign exchange.
However, farmers venturing in bamboo growing are facing challenges like scarcity of seedlings. The International Bamboo and Rattan Organization is supporting Uganda to promote the growing of bamboo.
Has conducted like a regional remote sensing study to find out how much bamboo resources are there in the country. He also conducted like a market study to find out like what is the value chains of bamboo which are all there, and like what are all the potential bamboo value chains. And in addition to that, we are capacitating all these stakeholders, our government partners, the farmers, the community, the industries, on how to produce bamboo plant, how to establish plantations, how to sustainably manage it.
Adiana Kuti, UBC.
The State Minister for Bunyoro Affairs, Ernest Kiza, has directed the authorities in Bunyoro region to scrap from the public service payroll all teachers who will join an impending industrial action. He was receiving 30 million shillings prize for students provided by Chinese National Offshore Oil Corporation, Uganda, under Sinuk Best Performers Award Scheme for Kikube District.
Senoko Uganda, an oil and gas company, has recognized 120 best performing students in Hoima and Kikube districts under the Senoko Best Performers Award Scheme. This was the 7th edition of the scheme for improving performance of students in the oil production region.
There is cow and
so continue awarding the best performance to reaffirm our willingness to be good neighbors with the community in our areas of operation, and that as Seneca Uganda, we are committed to implementing projects that provide a win-win situation with our partners and stakeholders.
State Minister for Bunyoro Affairs Ernest Kiza commended the different oil and other companies operating in Bunyoro for developing the region.
This is one of the benefits of the discovering oil, and of course, generally Bunyoro is going to be transformed because of the oil. We are working on several roads that are being worked on, more than 10 roads. We are calling oil roads.
But responding to teachers' strike, Minister Kiza directed all chief administrative officers in Bunyoro to scrap teachers from the payroll who will join the industrial action.
We shall delete them from the payroll if they go on strike, because they should be patriots. Because the children also have their right to go to school. So you are violating the children's rights. So we are not going to allow people to violate children's rights.
The district education officer Chikube district, Byakagaba Deogracias, urged the authorities to improve schools in the district.
Of accommodation facilities for teachers in most schools is a big challenge, and for students in secondary schools who walk longer distances to dilapidated classes, latrines with no shutters, no bathrooms, poor hygiene, no ramps for the disabled.
Senoko Best Performance Award was inaugurated in 2012 and has benefited 540 students in primary and secondary schools. Abdul Nasili Luwama reporting.
Let's talk about national development now, where the LC3 chairperson Busukuma Sub-County in Wakiso District and member of the Democratic Party, Mutebich Tata Muima Ronald, has commended the NRM government for the good political environment and development in various areas. Let's get more on that in this report.
The National Resistance Movement government good political platform has enabled services to reach in different areas. The LC3 chairperson, Busukuma Sub-County in Wakiso District, Mutebichi Tata Muima Ronald, and member of the Democratic Party, appreciates government for expanding the piped water to the area. He also appealed to financial support to 20 developmental groups.
Despite the challenges that we go through, at least we cannot compare this one to the past government. This is at least. I, as a DP member, I appreciate and beg the government to at least create a more conducive one for the opposition.
This was during the exhibition of Namlonge Youth Cassava Growers Association at Namlonge Research Playground in Wakiso District. The Deputy RDC in charge of Kasangati, Justin Mbabazi, commended the youth for working as a group to address poverty eradication.
Twagala kati nga butulabye ab'engatto, abasaluni, aba decoration, bano betulabye abantu bonna, buli muntu kyalina kyetandikiddewo. Abantu abo president yatusabye ti buli constituency kati busuku mirimu nansana bateekewo sako.
The coordinator of Namlonge Youth Cassava Growers Association, Mukasa Chimbowa, requested government to provide them with value addition machines to enable value in their produce. Salongo Kasibante compiled this report.
36 minutes after 10 p.m. We're now going to take a short break, but we'll return with business news. Stay with us.
Hello. My name is, as usual, Mr. Budget. Now, the major aim of decentralization is to bring services closer to the people. You see, majority of Ugandans are actually served by their local governments. The overall local government allocation for the next financial year is 3.8 trillion shillings. Good money, right? and 2.8 trillion shillings of this is recurrent expenditure, while 948 billion shillings is development expenditure. The big question though is this enough for local governments to bring services closer to their people? Let's find out together at the budget reading on the 13th of June 2019. Our budget, our responsibility. This message is brought to you by CS BAG, Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, and URA.
12 displays that will leave you enthralled. Make a date with us during the first Sunday of every month. With over 2,000 participants at one venue, we aim to keep healthy, network, ensure viable brand positioning, and make friends while having fun during our monthly sports festival.
Welcome back from that short break, and you are still watching News Tonight here on UBC TV. And a warm welcome to those of you just joining us. Now it's time for us to look at what's happening in the world of business, where local insurance companies will reap from marine insurance after the Insurance Regulatory Authority sought to enforce the policy on importers of goods. The policy in Section 3(2) of the Insurance Act of Uganda has stalled since the financial year 2017-2018, when the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development made a pronouncement to enforce it. Dennis Tikoa gives us more.
Where we are moving, we need to move a little faster, but we also need to move all together.
Alhaj Kadunabi Rubega, the CEO, Insurance Regulatory Authority, confirmed to the media about the readiness of the policy implementation during the monthly Insurance Chief Executive Officer's breakfast meeting in Kampala.
This hasn't been done before, despite the fact that the Minister in 2017-2018 budget speech had directed IRA to start implementing it. Therefore, we have engaged the Minister and other government agencies, Uganda Shippers Council, Uganda Clearing and Forwarding, UMA, Private Sector Foundation, and other stakeholders to see that we all move in the same direction.
Once fully operational, locally licensed insurance companies will start issuing all policies relating to domestic marine cargo, and Ugandan importers will insure the imports with a Ugandan insurance company.
Speech. We expect something should be coming in this budget speech in regards to the implementation of the compulsory or localization of marine insurance.
The insurance sector is currently facing low penetration levels, even though results from the financial year 2017-2018 show a positive trend.
The industry grew by 17.5%. That is a positive way of looking at things. The penetration levels have therefore moved from 0.81% to 0.84%.
Dennis Ikoa for UBC Business.
Now, the presidential initiative on Skilling the Girl project has transformed lives of girls after they start and own enterprises. Now, most girls hail from the peri-urban areas of Katanga and Kisenyi to enroll for the Skilling project. For the third year running, the initiative has benefited over 10,000 girls who train in tailoring, embroidery, confectionery, hairdressing, and many others.
Katanga peri-urban area is a sprawling slum, and nobody would expect something good from this area or its neighborhood. But inside this slum, which is located about 2 kilometers away from the central business district of the bustling Kampala city, a transformative project is taking root. Over 400 girls come here every morning for skills training in tailoring and hairdressing.
When you know anything in your head, it is very easy to start your thing. That like braiding, me, it was my dream to become a beautician. So when I heard about this opportunity, it was very easy for me because it was my dream, it was in my head.
Most of these girls are school dropouts, others are reformed drug addicts, although others are driven by passion. Lillian Mukalazi is one of the trainees at the presidential initiative of Skilling the Girl Child project in Katanga.
Here 4 months when we are learning, they have been teaching us different styles of the hair. We had twist, triples, the pencil, cornrows, even others. Makeup, me I liked makeup so much. So those are my visions, and I feel happy to be here on Skilling a Girl Child.
The administrator of the training facility, Camila Viola, says the project was timely in improving livelihoods of the unemployed slum girls.
I'm so happy about that, to put this project in this area. This is a slum area where there is no someone to help these young girls. They are young, they have nothing to do. Where they are coming from, they are poor. So this is so good for.
But Namubiru Sharon, a resident of Mperere, a Kampala suburb, is a degree holder and also a trainee here.
When I see this, it is an addition, it's an added advantage to me. And I think it's not only to me, but to everyone around here. This does not only take people who have not gone to school, but also the people who have gone to school. Why? Because you can go to school and you literally don't even know what you studied. You know, sometimes people go to maybe like campus and you don't have practical work. You only have theory work.
That's true. The goal of this initiative, launched in 2017, is to reduce unemployment among the youth. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
Currencies in our money market report. Welcome back, and now moving further afield, we go to Iran, where the acting defense secretary Patrick Shanahan has said potential of attacks by Iran has been put on hold by U.S. countermeasures. The U.S. has warned of a threat from Iran in recent weeks, and Shanahan briefed lawmakers at a closed-doors meeting. Tension has risen sharply, with the U.S. deploying military assets to the Gulf to tackle the unspecified threats. President Trump's National Security Advisor John Bolton is a long-standing advocate for regime change in Iran and has previously called for the U.S. to bomb the nation, saying the U.S. posture is for deterrence rather than war. Reports suggested the briefing was heated at times, and after the meeting, some Democrats accused government officials of twisting intelligence information. Time now for us to have a look at what's happening in the world of sport, and we begin with boxing, where police and Ministry of Works and Transport have cleared a step-by-step boxing promotions to host its Heroes Day June 9th fight along Wilson Street. Now the fight pits Moses Golola against Abbas Kasumali in a light heavyweight fight division. Details follow in this story.
Moses Gola and Abbas Kasumari have signed the mandatory pre-fight agreement, and all that stands between the fight is time. This non-title light heavyweight fight is scheduled for Heroes Day June 9th and will enter history books as the first ever on a street, with Wilson Street the chosen one.
And we identified Wilson Road for a change because people were tired of the halls, the MTN arenas. They wanted something unique. So we came up with this other idea, of which the promoter bought the idea. And I want to thank KCCA, Uganda Police, Ministry of Works to see they accepted the function to take place.
Uganda Professional Boxing Commission has sanctioned the fight, but urges promoters to follow the stringent conditions, especially timekeeping and boxers' welfare.
It's strictly a directive. No boxer will ever go on a ring without signing a contract. You must agree on a fee and you must be paid. So the issue of just going to the ring, you fight, and at the end of the day, the promoter goes away with your money, that will not happen. And if it ever happens, we shall call the promoter. If he's found guilty, action shall be taken.
This Moses Gola versus Abbas Kasumari fight was earlier scheduled for Boxing Day 2018, but the two failed to unify weight category, thus the postponement. John Bad, Sentinel, reporting.
Big fight coming. To Woodball now, where despite a looming challenge of lack of fans, Uganda Woodball Federation has showed signs of resilience to host the second Beach Woodball World Cup that starts on Monday next week. John Ban Sentamu gives us more.
Uganda Woodball Federation is playing its part ahead of the second Beach Woodball World Cup due next week at Spena Beach, Entebbe. The lawns that will provide pavilion from which to watch are mowed, while the national team has had a 3-week residential camp.
They have given us all the support. We have had the longest camp ever. We have never had a camp of 3 weeks. All the thanks goes to the Uganda Woodball Federation and the government, and all the players are in a good shape, and I hope we are going to win.
But there is uncertainty due to lack of funds to run the tournament, where more than 30 countries are expected.
As a hosting nation, I want to say that the venue at Spena Beach and its neighborhood, almost everything is getting ready amidst a challenging situation because we are constrained with funding. And as you know, this is a national event. We've been hopeful that the government, through the National Council, will be able to contribute support, and we are still waiting.
The tournament will be preceded by a training workshop to polish participants' skills and will conclude with the International Uganda Open Woodball Tournament. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
It is coming to 9 minutes to the hour of 11 here in the studios of UBC TV. We finally come to the end of news tonight, but before we leave you, let's have a quick reminder of our top stories. In our news tonight, President Museveni advises Madi leaders to stop stalking tribal tensions. Office of the Prime Minister scores 73% in manifesto commitments. US says Iranian threats put on hold. And in sports, FIFA terminates Ghanaian coach's contract. And that brings us to the end of news tonight. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Mugalu Mohammed, and I am Edward Rukidi Kijanongama wishing you a blessed night.